Hello, everybody. It's Rombo here, and oh boy, what a red day it was today. So, oofta. I hope you guys had stop losses or they're in the right place and you didn't get stopped out and everything's hunky dory. Sometimes these days happen, and if you are secure in your position and the due diligence that you did on the company, knowing that it will eventually come back to where it should be, everything will be okay in your longer investments. So um, let's see here. Let's start off with AAPT. Um, AAPT, rough day today. Get used to me saying that. But if you notice the downward trend line right here, it was obviously following the line, and now it has broken away from that. So there's more and more space here. That means that the downward trend is strengthening, not weakening. Obviously, if the trend was weakening, it would get closer and closer and break the downward trend. So that's not good. But we do have good support down here at the -1 deviation. It bounced right off there. And now, if you notice, it came right down to that deviation line, and it was also concurrence here because it was the daily support, and it bounced right off of 0.0109 ish or so, and came back up. So that could be a good sign that maybe it hit its bottom point, and maybe now it will consolidate a little bit or come up a little bit and maybe challenge the downward trend line. So maybe we have seen the bottoming out of AAPT. We'll find out. Again, I'm not a financial consultant. I'm just an old man upstairs in a dark room looking at 3 monitors. So, I think AAPT might have seen enough here, and if it starts to consolidate, that'd be a good sign. Next, CYBL. A lot of talk about CYBL, and look familiar? Downward trend line, moving away from the trend line. Right here, it's like a rock in the air. You throw it up there, that there's no support, none. So it's coming down, guys. Now there is support at 0187 right here. That would be a very it's really good support. It's at the -1 deviation area, so that would be nice to see. Maybe not tomorrow just come straight down as much as it has. Maybe the trend will get weaker, and maybe by Friday it will hit there, and then maybe have a soft bounce up, bounce back down again, maybe double bottoming there and then breaking out. We could see something like that. But if it breaks 0183, we're probably looking at 0095 or so. But there is this upward support area here. So if we kind of go down along this line and follow that same trajectory, if it breaks 0186, we could get to maybe 0136. There might be a little support in that area. That would be also down along lines of the 1.5 deviation if you follow that up. I don't think that's going to happen. There's too much support here on top of the -1 deviation line. So I could see us bouncing probably before or at the 0186 area or so. So don't worry. Again, CYBL, if you did your due diligence, it's a great company. Guys, stocks just don't go up. That's why you sell when they're up there and you buy back down here. Think of it, this is your average price. All right? So if a candy bar costs 50 cents and you go to another store and you see it costs, $1, well, are you going to buy it there? Well, okay, it's $1, but work with me here, okay? No, you go to the next store and you say, okay, this one is 50 cents at this store. I want to pay average. Or maybe, you look down the block and there's a sign, candy bars on sale for 40 cents. Well, you do your work. You worked on the discipline of not buying it over the cost or at cost, and you see the sale. That's where you buy it. Well, right now it's cheaper now. So stocks don't always go up. They always come back down to their average or the means price, which in this case is 0.348. And right now there's a sale. But now that doesn't mean, well, it's really cheap right now. I'll get it right here. Well, okay, let's say that place, it was on that candy bar sale was for 40 cents. But then you look down the road there and you see another sale and, 35 cents, 30 cents. Well, then you just kind of keep going and you wait until, okay, now the next store it's that store's 50 cents. Well, you go back, well, you can't go back in time on the chart, but then, that was a good price. Maybe then you come back and as the price is going, now it's coming back up. You know where the bottom is. Right here, you don't know that that's the bottom. You don't try to time it. No one's perfect. You want to buy when it starts, when you know it's going up. You get the best bang for your buck and for your profits when you buy considerably at the lowest, but you're not buying it considerably at the lowest as it's going down. You'll wait for it to start coming back up again. That's where you know where the bounce is, and then you can rest at night knowing that the stock's starting to go up again. And then in the meantime, maybe it takes a week, 2 weeks for that to happen. You could use that money for something else, make money in the meantime. So instead of putting in $500, right here and waiting for it to come down and then come back up, you could take that 500 and turn it into 700 or something like that. So instead of buying 500 here, you're buying 700 at the same price as it's going up. Okay, so that's something to think about. Sorry, starting to get on my little pedestal here. Next we have FERN. FERN. Now here, this might be a dip right here. Hey, buy the dip, right? Well, now here's the downward resistance trend line right here. Okay, we're just now at average. Could it bounce and break up? Yep, it sure can. We're outside of the pitchfork though. That's never a good sign. Again, very expensive up here. We do have support just above the -1 deviation. We do have a little support here at the -1 deviation at 0.257. Just because we have a little curl up, don't get all excited. Most likely it will get rejected by the average price is a very, very big resistance or support. Maybe it's trying to cling to that support here and move on back up, but I don't trust a downtrend until it breaks the downward trend line, and that's only the first rule. The second rule is you have to have a higher high and a higher low. Okay, so this is part of the one video that I did about when to get into a stock. You'll want to see it break this downward trend line right here. Okay, so here's a higher high than the previous, right here, or let's say right here. If you really want to be conservative, it breaks this high, it comes back. Now at this time, probably, I don't know, the 20-day SMA is going to do something like this. So it's above the SMA line, the 20 SMA. It sets a higher high right here, and now let's say the low is right here. Well, so here's the previous low, and now here's the next previous low. It's above the SMA line. That's where you want to get in. Okay, right here. If you could if you can make anything out of that. You don't have to be in at the lowest point. Yeah, we all want to, but okay, right now this looks like the lowest point, but what happens if we have something like this? Are you in the lowest point now? You know, you might have gotten in here being all happy and, oh, here we go, you know, and at the time this did look really good, but look what happened. Okay, well, so we don't know the future. That this could still go down, and as long as it's under this line, guys, it's trending this way. It's not going up, it's going down. You want to see it break that first, set in a higher high, a higher low, and then on that bounce, you get in right here. You set your stop loss right here. Okay, so that's what we have to do with FERN. Next, ILUS. If I can find ILUS here, I know it's around here somewhere. There it is. ILUS, a big red day, but if you notice, right on Andrew's pitchfork, this is a support trend line right here, guys. It did come down below the daily support, but boom, it stopped right there, came up. So ILUS on this leg, even though it set a higher low right here. So remember, I was concerned about this double top. I still am. Okay, but now this trend was broken. This trend line was broken. It came up. It came back down again. So now we'll see what happens tomorrow. ILUS could still go down, but it is within still in this pitchfork area here. So if we have a green day tomorrow, then I'll be considering, if we have a red day after that and stays within this pitchfork, we'll have a higher high, even though it's not the highest high, but we do set a higher high right here and then a higher low. That right there would be a good area to get into, hypothetically around 0.45 or so, if something like that happens. Or if it breaks underneath the pitchfork, well then we have to draw that trend line and wait for something like that to happen, and then get back in here. So, or if you're in it and you're in it for the long haul, this is nothing, you think this is going to $2, well then this is a really good buy area to add in right here. So it protects yourself. You don't have to get in the lowest low right here. Just add as when the price, when you know that it's in an uptrend. So hate to bang the drum there, but that's the way I think is a good way to protect your money and make it most effective. PUGE looks very familiar to ILUS. Here we had a big drop, and then we had a big day up. So now everybody's going, hey, here we go. One candle, guys, does not make a reverse in trend. So you buy in right here, get FOMO. You get in here, and now you're all happy. Here we go. It's way up there at the beginning of the day, and it gaps up, and then boom, goes down. Boom, goes down. Oh, it's okay. This is nice. 50% retracement. Boom, goes down, and now you're holding the bag right here. So again, there's a downward trend line, guys. You could be very, very aggressive here. Say if now we have a green day here, maybe another green day. You could get in here if you want to be super aggressive, but man, trend lines are there for a reason. As long as it's below this downward trend line, where you think it's going to go? It's going to go in the way of the arrow. It's going to go down, 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 until it breaks that, sets a higher high, higher low. That's where you want to get in, right there. So that's what I got with PUGE. Next we have SPQS. SPQS, another downward trend. We have a couple blue days. We have a big red day here. It gapped up and came down. A couple of green days, and then a little red day, and then boom, comes down right on the average means price. Again, it's very strong support and it's very strong resistance. So double top up here, just like ILUS, and usually that gets people skittish. And hopefully, guys, hopefully, this is not a head and shoulders. Head and shoulders, you have price action here, and then you have a nice shoulder here, comes down. Now this area right here, this is called a bear trap. Okay, it's going up, the bears come in and hey, here we go, making money, and then bam, they get trapped. Okay, that's what creates something like this. The bears have to cover, they're losing their money, and it comes up, and then boom, they come back strong, and creates this selling pressure, and then is what we call the bull trap. The bulls come in, hey, yeah, it's more than 50% retracement, but yeah, here we go, money to the moon. All of a sudden, usually though, with the head and shoulders, the first spike is taller than the second spike, so it'd be like right here. It wouldn't always, with my experience, it doesn't set a double top. So that's one thing that's kind of against the indication, or the scheme of a head and shoulders. But when I see a nice pop up like this, and then a big one comes down, and then a second wave here, and then it starts coming down, I'll just finish what it usually looks like. It comes down, it comes up, not as high as the second one, and then it does something like this. Okay, so am I saying that's what's going to happen? No, I'm not. We could very much well bounce off of the average means line right here, break the downward trend here, and then continue upward. But the next couple of days, I think we're gonna tell what's gonna happen. If it breaks this area right here, at around, I don't know, California math, 0.008 or so, we come down here below here, then we're probably going to come down to the 0.004 level. We'll have a pop up here to make the other side of the shoulder, and then come back down. I've seen it too many times, guys, and that's definitely something that could happen with SPQRS. I'm not saying it's going to. Like I said before, it can break that mold. I'm trying to think of something offhand. I think it was, well, the famous one is HYLN. It looks a little different now because it's only on the weekly chart, so it looks a little different. But here you have this big shoulder, comes down, and then boom, just rips, comes down. Now again, this is a week, so imagine the daily chart would look something like this, and then down, and then you'd have a bunch of blue days right here, and everything's looking good. And if you notice, the second wave isn't as big as the first one, and then boom, comes down right here, sets up the second shoulder, not as high as the first one, and you're done, and does not recover. It's very devastating to a stock. Boy, I'm trying to remember the OTC stock that did that. It was the drink, the oxygen or helium drink or whatever it was. Can't believe I can't remember it. LPCN or something like that. But as I digress here, just be careful of SPQS right now, and be aware that that is a possibility. TONR, again, that's kind of looking uh, a little iffy also. Really, really though, not too much of a shoulder here, head and shoulders type pattern. We did have a little bit here. Um, we had a big high. Here's the dip, and now we have the next high, which isn't as high as the first one, and now we're coming down. So that is a possibility with TONR also. We did break the average means price right here. But again, guys, trends are made to be broken. At 0.0053, there is support right here. So we do have this downward trend. If we break that trend, we could still see something of that effect. I think that's a little optimistic, but that can happen. But most definitely, for sure, right now we need to break this very steep downward trend for toner to have a chance to do something like that. And even if we do come back up and above the average price line on toner, we're not out of the woods, because here's your trend right here. This is the big trend line. So just be careful. We could have a bunch of blue days and hey, here we go, and then right, the trend is always going to be going down until that line is broken. Then we can see an upward trend on that. So with that said, guys, that's it. If you like my videos, please give me a like, subscribe, and if you can or want, come on over to Moonmarket's Discord. We're a nice big family there where we discuss charts, next runners, reading charts, the indicators, just teaching what a lot of these things mean, and how to put them on your Thinkorswim. I know many of you in the comments have asked, how you could set this up in other platforms and everything, or thinking, the deviation lines and, certain indicators and stuff like that. If I have it on Thinkorswim, you could have it on TradingView. Not necessarily. A lot of these are scripts and they are dedicated to Thinkorswim, but there are parallel scripts in other platforms and everything also. But the indicators that I'm using, for the most part, are made specifically for Thinkorswim. So, boy, I'm rambling tonight. Sorry about that, guys. So with that said, you guys have a really, really good night. I hope you didn't bleed that bad today. I hope you had a green day. That would be awesome. I'd love to hear that. Green day on a really red market day. So, and we will see you tomorrow night, guys. Bye.